Great. Great. Let me do the introduction. Welcome, everyone. This is the CS350 computer science database, not database, operating system, section 6. And this is week number 14. So we're sort of winding down, and today is the Wednesday, April 17. Okay, so maybe I'll just put OS here just in case. All right, and this is being recorded, will be available afterwards. As usual, if you could me with your name and ID, that will count as your attendance. There are a few announcements. Let's see here. Maybe I should say announcements. The first one is, there's 1, 2, and then here's a 3. And so maybe, I think all of you have received an email from school, some notification. Is fall registration open already? It's been open for a while, so you need to take care of it, but I'll get to it in a sec. So celebration of the scholarship here is happening today, and see, okay, well, and tomorrow. So all you have to do is to just kind of search for it. I usually Lewis University, okay, already has it on there. So when you get to this point here, let me make it a little bit bigger. Just click that, and then it'll take you to this event. And the reason why I'm sharing this with you, even though you are an online student and may not come to campus, but this is really a great opportunity for you to network with other students and faculty and see what other people are doing, so that you could have an idea of, if there's anything interesting to you, and maybe, get to know them or something. And some of these are awarded with not only recognition, but also money. So you may want to take a look at it. Maybe not this year because it's already happening, but maybe for next year if you are not graduating, end of this term. But anyway, here's a calendar here that in terms of like when and here you go. So here's a detailed schedule for, it's already started, but today's mostly graduate students. And so tomorrow there's these sessions and presentations. And here's an easy one, poster presentations. So you can just go, and this is in the field house here, or where the gym is at. So you can just kind of walk around and see what other people are doing, okay? Anyway, hope you can take advantage of this if you are able to come. The other thing is the summer course, okay? So if you are wanting to take a summer course, then you need to make sure that the summer course you're taking is transferable before you take it, and then need to fill out a coursework away form and send it to assistant dean. So make sure you look into that. The fall registration is already happening. So I think if you go here, yeah, so it might not show up on mine because I'm a faculty, but here's the records and registration. And it doesn't show on mine, but somewhere along here, here's the registration classes. So like here, you can use this one, add, drop, and withdraw. And I'm just going to try to click on it, and then it'll take you, yeah, not sure if it's going to work for me. So you can choose the term fall 24, Make it a little bit bigger. And then submit. I don't know if it's going to work for me because then you can put in the CRNs here to, once you put in, you can, submit changes and whatever. But you probably want to keep this tab, but look at what courses are offered, right? So view the schedule here, and then fall 24. Yeah, I don't have anything. I actually got the schedule. I don't want to look at that. But let's see here. Maybe what I want to do is look at the resources here. And a couple of things. You probably want to look at the degree works. Okay. And it's probably going to show mine, so I'm not going to show you. But anyway, go to the degree works. Yeah, let me see if this one actually shows. Yeah, I don't mind showing it to you if it's mine. But anyway, so here you just type in your ID, well, yeah, your own ID, and it'll show you all the classes you're taking, what you need to do, and stuff like that. So you want to look at this and see what courses you want to, take. But if you want to look at the course offerings, you can go to the advising and academic support, look up classes, pick the term fall 24, advanced search, select the section or the discipline you want to do, computer science. And so let's say I'll just look at the curriculum here. Lewis University, computer science curriculum, and you go there. You look at the, just assume, pick one, Bachelor of Science, computer science, and it'll tell you, what you need to take, right? So let's say this is the operating system class, so you're like over here somewhere, right? So maybe let's say you want to take cybersecurity essentials, 420, then you go back to, let's see here, 420 here, and then just press enter. It should give you these courses. These are the CRNs that you want to copy and put it into wherever you were looking at in terms of actual registering, like here. Okay, you put that in and then just click on this, and then you'll be registered. When you look at the courses here, C means it's closed. You can see that here is a capacity of 25, but 25 people registered, right? So you want to make sure that you can, it's open, okay? So you probably need to, to do that, you need to get the pins. Need to get a pin from your advisor, right? Because you need it in order to do it. And then you want to make sure you register. Even even after you register, after you register, you could change your schedule. Until the classes start. So it would be advantageous for you to pick all the classes that you want to take and register for as a full-time. Okay, and you want to do this before the summer because during this, as soon as May comes, reaching your advisor, right? Your faculty advisor may not be all that easy because he or she may be either on sabbatical or on a research someplace, and I'm not sure what the status would be, accessibility for you, right? And so you may end up have to wait for a while, which is not what you want. And so make sure that you take care of that before the term ends, preferably, I would say by 4:30, right? Before this month is over. Because if you look at the here, if you look at the academic calendars, here's the spring. It ends sort of here. This is the last day, May 4th. So any day after that is questionable. Okay. All right. Any questions about what I mentioned in terms of anything so far? Okay. I also want to reiterate that everything for this class is due on Friday, May 3rd, right? Because I mentioned to you here, May 4th is the actual last day by the university, but for this class, it's due on May 3rd. Because if you look at the the course here, let me make it a little bit bigger here. Things are due, May 3rd. Okay, so I make sure that you get everything done before then. Okay, so this is a what I will call a hard due date. In other words, I don't have a whole lot of room to give you if you need a day or two or whatever, because I need to process your grades and figure it out and submit to the registrar's office. And so I don't want to be late, so make sure that you take care of that beforehand. Okay. All right. It's all good. Okay. So let me start by maybe next week first. Okay. So if you look at the course here, Blackboard, there's only just one assignment, right? Which is the Zyba. And I clarified because I thought I was going to make this a required, but I think I put some verbiage on here that it was optional, so I didn't want to, make a change. So I just kind of highlighted and just made it what it was written before, and as an optional assignment. So and that's because the thing that I'm doing today and next week is sort of the not part of the original card catalog, the university catalog scope of this course. I put this in here so that you will have a advantage and real life, sort of example of operating system. It would be a shame to go through. I don't know about shame, but I think it's. Let me put it positively. I think it'd be a wonderful thing for you to actually have some experience creating a operating system. Okay, so but I did want to expose and share, so I did make it in here, but keeping it as optional. I think there's a yeah. So is followers sharing over today, and then there's a since last week. Yeah, right. It's been going on for a while, about a week or so, I guess. Yeah. And then maybe if it wasn't clear, to get the pin, to get the pin, you meet with your advisor. And if you don't know who your advisor is, it'll tell you once you get to the degree works, when you put your ID or whatever, which should self-populate, if you're a student. And so on the top, you should say who your advisor is. But anyway, so just kind of going on here. Let's see, where was I? Okay, talking about this optional building. So, that's what we're doing today. And then 15 is the same deal. There is a little bit of the extra, stuff that I'd like you to do in terms of Zybook that you can do that on your own. And again, this too is an optional. So pretty much we're done. Okay. So that's the take-home message. We're all finished. Okay. So here, so next week, So we are all finished with this course material. Okay. So today I'm going to just a demo, right? Building on OS. Okay. And next week we don't need to meet. In fact, I just say no class. Okay, next week. So yeah, that's sort of pretty much it. Any question about what I am saying in terms of the course material and the optional building the OS stuff? So if you do it, it'll just count as an extra credit. Okay, so I guess I'd take that as everything is good to go. So what I want to do is I want to, just kind of mention to you, do a little demo. And so if you want to do this optional OS building, then there are two documents that I gave you. So you can click on this one, the one that says Build OS Student. What do you call it? Oh, here. There you go. So here is the, I don't need to be that blown up. And a detailed instruction on how to build your own OS Part 1. Notice that it has 16 pages. It's kind of long, right? So don't be scared because it's mostly, screenshots and stuff like that. But in full disclosure, most of this stuff is taken from this website here. But before I go there, the end game here for this portion is to create a boot disk that you want to boot from. Okay, so and so I'll talk about this a little bit, but if you click on this here, it'll take you to a web page here that is still pretty decent. Mike OS, he does a pretty good job of going through, giving you some requirements and a little explanation about the PC primer and assembly, what it's all about. But you can just click on your first OS, and this is the boot up assembly language that you need to use to create it. So it gives you pretty much everything, and if you know anything about assembly, then this is good. But if you don't know anything about it, then you don't have to know too much. I mean, this is not a programming class, and so you don't have to know, but you should kind of, at least seeing it should help you, right? And then Mike does an okay job of, not only just showing on this side, but what that line is doing, because most people don't know moving AX 07COH means it says set up a 4K stack space after this bootloader. So it doesn't, but if you never looked at this before or seen this before, you still have no idea, right? So, but what you can do, I'll come back, but he gives everything to you. That's all I'm saying. And then so here, let's see. Before I get, but here's the outline of this 16 page. Okay, so before I go through the little detail here, let me do a little drawing so that you understand what it is that we're trying to do in terms of picture wise. Okay, so let me start the paint. and make it a bit bigger here. And so what we are trying to do here is we're going to use a virtual machine like a virtual box, right? And as you know, in order to run a virtual machine with an OS, you need an OS, right? So we're going to create an OS and tie to this guy here so that when you boot this up, it'll come here to look at it, and then it'll load into its RAM. And then it'll boot, okay? So this here OS, we need to build it from the host computer. We can't build it here because this is not built yet, right? It's not operating. You need to boot it first. So this has to be done in your host computer. And the host computer could be a Windows or Linux or Mac, right? So depending on which platform you're using, the process of creating this is going to be different. For this assignment, I am using a Windows, okay? I did not have a chance to give instruction for the Linux or the Mac OS. But if you have a Linux, you should be able to figure out, pretty much what I'm doing, because what I'm doing is not just using a Windows, but I am going to use a Windows here, and I'm going to use a Linux functionality in here to create the OS. And then this is going to be that, okay? Why? Because having a Linux functionality is really good in creating stuff like the operating system, okay? So I hope this picture kind of gives you a broad overview of what we're doing, okay? So this is what we're trying to achieve right here. This guy here, okay? All right, let me go back. Is there any question about this diagram? Things okay? All right. It's all good. Just looking at some chats here, see if I can answer some of them on the way. What would you want us to submit for part one? What to submit? Okay, so the worksheet isn't asking for a specific screenshot. Oh, yeah. So all you need to submit actually is for a screenshot of boot up. And then I'll clarify, okay? I'll put a note on to make it specific. And I'll show it for you, okay? Anyway, so, and I'll do a little quick demo. And so here, what we're doing is the first 4 or 3 portion is basically getting the Linux here into the OS so that we can actually do it, right? So that's what this 3 things. And then we need to have the assembler language set up, and then we're going to use an emulator to create the OS. And then we'll also use a Visual Studio to fine tune it, and then we can even make it a USB, a portable USB as well. But this is sort of the outline. So follow this here if you like, okay? And notice that there is even a Ubuntu, but Ubuntu for Windows, right? Ubuntu is originally is for Linux, but I mean, it is a Linux, right? So you can see that we're on the Windows platform, but using some variations of Linux functionality on it in order to do this. Okay? Now, let me explain to you. This may be a better so you may want to look at this one. Okay. So here's the other one. And so this is a little shorter one. And this one does show you a little bit succinct. It's only 6 pages, but at the end, it'll tell you what you need to take a screenshot of this, right? As a proof. And then something like this. Okay. So does that answer your question about what you need to submit? Okay, I take that as you guys understand, but so we have I'm giving you both so that you can, one is more detailed. So this guy here is just a one shot. This is broken into 2 parts. So you can do the whole thing in just one shot using, something like this. You don't have to do both of them. You just need to do one of them. Now, so maybe the question could be, okay, I follow this guy here, then I'm already done, right? Yeah, you are. So if you do the, however you get here, if you get this, then you can just, for week number 15, when you get here, you can just submit the same thing, and that would be okay. And just say in the submission that you are submitting the same thing because you're already done. Okay. Anyway, when you submit the screen here, make sure that it shows this part right here, okay, with your name on it. Or if you don't want to change that, if you have your virtual machine without your name, then make sure that you change your script somewhere to say that this is my cool new OS with your name on it. Okay, because I want to see your name here somewhere, not my name, so that I know that you didn't just copy this, and just submit it. Okay. All right. So I hope this kind of makes sense. Okay. So let me kind of close this out. I'm back here. So for the optional OS assignment, you can follow either direction, either instruction. If you follow the shorter one and finish, then submit it twice. One for week 14 and the other for week 15. And this is a little bit, I convoluted because originally I was going to make it all required, and I didn't realize that I gave you both. So anyway, I hope that makes sense. Okay. All right, let me do a quick demo and kind of explain what I talked about so far. Okay, so here we go. So let's see, where's my virtual machine? Oh, here we go. I'm using a VirtualBox. If it starts. Oh, here we go. Okay, so so here's my OS Sung Kim. And let's look at the settings first. And here, in general, there's nothing, shocking here. System, make sure you give your base memory. I think default was like 4 megabytes, which is too small. So make sure, you give something. I have 16 gig of RAM, and so I gave it about 4 gig, which is, decent. And then in terms of the processor, don't give one or the minimum. I don't know how many you have, but I have 12. So give a couple, at least like, 3 or 4. Is it okay if we use a different VM instead of, yeah, you could use any virtualization you like. Yeah, Hyper-V is fine, or, there's all kinds of out there. And so whatever you're using, that's fine. And then for storage, make sure that you specify the ISO file that you create. Okay, so because this is the disk that it holds the boot program. Okay, and then I don't really particularly care about all the other stuff, so I hope that's okay. So I'm going to just start, and basically all it's going to do is just a boot, and then say, this is my new OS or something. That's it. So the program, as you saw on the macOS website, is very small. I think maybe not, not even a meg or something. Anyways, powering up. There it comes. That's it, right here. Okay, so I hope you can see. So it's got my name on it. This is macOS, and that's it. That's all it does. There's nothing else that I can do on this one. It doesn't let me do anything, right? But this is still something much, more than what most other people who are taking a operating system class at most of these schools. So I hope you get to try it. Even if you don't succeed, I think this is worth a try. Okay, so you just need to take a screenshot of this and submit it twice for 14 and 15. Okay, so now any questions so far? Okay, so let me just shut this down and just kind of point out to you, if you look at my VirtualBox, I have one called Python ISO. Okay, I haven't finished, so I can't demo it for you yet. But what I'm trying to tell you is this. Yeah, so when we looked at macOS, first a bootloader, then you look at this and you go, oh, I don't understand, right? So I'm going to just copy this, right? And you can see how it is working, right? So you can go to the ChatGPT and you can just ask, right? It says explain what the following program is doing in simple language, okay? And then just paste it and then return, and it'll tell you, a little bit about what each of them is doing and stuff like that. If you're interested in that, that's great. If not, then, there's nothing to worry about. But I'm just telling you that, you don't have to really understand too much about the program in order to, actually understand with the help of this AI, right? But the real thing is, if you want to not use assembly language, because, I don't know how many of you are familiar with assembly language, but it is pretty, rugged and kind of, difficult, right? So it's not like a Python or Java or any of the high level languages. But we use it because it's pretty fast. because there's no translation, not much of translation that we have to do. But anyway, you can write this in Python. You can ask them to convert, right? So you can say, rewrite the program in Python, okay? And then, oops, lo and behold, oops, it does it for you, right? So, you know, probably not as accurate as what it's going to do, but you know, maybe you can say include a more detail in the program. So yeah, so probably you know, if you do just this part, it's probably not going to work. But anyway, so what I'm saying is you could write the operating system here. You know, when you actually get to write this OS, you can write in assembly language, right? Or you can use any other language, right? Any other ones like Python, you know, Java or what have you. And so you can kind of understand what you're doing if you are familiar with, you know, any other languages. Okay. So, but I think I have a, let's see if I can show you. Here's the Mic OS that I downloaded. Just wanted to show you what's inside. So here's the assembly language, and if I open it, I'm going to open it with Notepad+. Here's the same code that you saw, okay? And then here's the ISO file. And so when you set up, you're going to point to this, and then it'll boot from here, okay? That's pretty much all I wanted to show you today. So let's kind of recap what we are doing. But before we do, any other questions you guys have? All right. Okay. So we basically are finishing. Let me bring up the notepad here. So, you know, basically we finished the class. So we are finished with the course content. All right. So let me just do a quick review. We talked about the processes, threads, and locks, and not the locks, but deadlocks, and the files, and today building an OS, right? So those are typical, you know, main functions, contents of the operating system, although this part is sort of an extra. And so it was good having you guys. Make sure that you're turning in all the let's see, everything is due on the 3rd, so make sure you get that all figured in, and you know, take care of your registration for the fall, and then take care of if you need to kind of do summer. There was one more thing I wanted to say. Yeah, so we don't have a class next week. Right, no class next week. I guess that's pretty much it. You know, any questions? Just email me. And then I'll respond to you. Okay. All right. Sounds good. It was good having you again. This is the end of the recording. Have a good evening, and good luck with the rest of the term and the following. Take care. Bye. I'm going to stop the share. And then I'm going to stop the recording.